Daniel sat in his quarters aboard the Frontier's edge, staring at the frost patterns forming on the viewport. Outside, the ice moon of Glacius 7 stretched endlessly, its frozen landscape glittering under the light of 3 distant suns. Christmas Eve, back on Earth, families would be gathering, children would be laughing, and homes would smell of pine and cinnamon. Here, 47 light years from home, Daniel had only silence. The human colony on Glacius 7 was small, barely 300 souls scraping out an existence mining rare minerals from beneath the ice. Most colonists had families, communities. Daniel had his work. He was the station's chief engineer, the man who kept the life support running, the heating functional, the oxygen flowing. Essential, respected, and utterly alone, he opened a ration-packed synthetic turkey with reconstituted vegetables and tried not to think about his mother's cooking. The loneliness pressed against his chest like the atmospheric pressure outside. Crushing and cold, a knock interrupted his spiraling thoughts. Mr. Daniel. The voice was melodic, almost musical, with the distinctive harmonic overtones of a Drakari. Are you inside? Daniel stood and opened the door. Anna stood in the corridor, her scales shimmering between deep emerald and gold in the artificial lighting. She was Drakari, what humans had nicknamed dragon people when first contact had been made 20 years ago. 8 feet tall, with elegant horns curving back from her head, wings folded against her back, and a tail that swayed with unconscious grace. She wore the simple gray uniform of station maintenance staff. Anna, is something wrong with the ventilation system in D block again? She shook her head, her amber eyes reflecting concern. No, Mr. Daniel. I noticed you did not attend the Christmas gathering in the common hall. I'm not really in a festive mood, Daniel said, attempting a smile that didn't reach his eyes. But thank you for checking. Anna's claws tapped against the doorframe, a nervous gesture he'd learned to recognize during their 3 years working together. Mr. Daniel, it is not right for anyone to be alone on their celebration day. Among my people, such isolation is considered a tragedy. I appreciate that, Anna, but please, she interrupted, her formality slipping into something more earnest. Come have dinner in my cave. I have prepared food. Daniel blinked. Your cave. Anna's scales flushed a deeper gold, the Drakari equivalent of a blush. My quarters. We Drakari call them caves, even when they are metal rooms on human stations. Old habit. Please, Mr. Daniel, let me share my fire with you tonight. Something in her tone vulnerable, hopeful made refusing impossible. Daniel grabbed his thermal jacket and followed her through the station's corridors. Anna's quarters were in the lower levels, where the ceilings were higher to accommodate Drakari dimensions. Daniel had never been inside before. When she opened the door, he stepped into a space transformed, where his quarters were sterile and functional. Anna had created something else entirely. Bioluminescent plants from her homeworld cast a warm, amber glow. The walls were covered in tapestries depicting Drakari, history, dragons in flight, ancient ceremonies, star-studded skies over alien mountains. In the center of the room, she'd arranged cushions around a low table, and the scent of cooking food filled the air. You did all this? Daniel asked, wonder replacing his melancholy. I have been preparing since morning, Anna said, gesturing for him to sit. I know human Christmas involves special foods, family, warmth. I cannot give you earth, but I can give you these things in my own way. As Daniel settled onto the cushions, Anna brought out dishes. Not human food, but Drakari cuisine she'd carefully adapted. Roasted glacier root that tasted surprisingly like potatoes, spiced protein synthesized to approximate the complexity of earth meats, and a sweet bread studded with preserved fruits from the hydroponic gardens. Anna, this is incredible. You shouldn't have gone to all this trouble. She sat across from him, her tail curling around her legs. You are not the only one who understands loneliness, Mr. Daniel. I left my clan to work among humans. There are only 4 Drakari on this station. We are all far from our fires. They ate in comfortable silence for a while. The food was delicious, but more than that, the warmth of the space, the care in every detail, began to thaw something frozen inside Daniel's chest. Why did you come here? He asked finally. To human space, I mean. It can't be easy being so far from home. Anna's eyes grew distant. My people believe that to understand the universe, one must see it through many eyes. Humans. You are strange to us. You are fragile, short-lived, weak compared to Drakari. Yet you come to places like this, to ice moons and asteroid fields, and you build homes. You persist. She met his gaze. I wanted to understand that strength. And in 3 years, working with you, I think I am beginning to. I don't feel very strong tonight, Daniel admitted. Strength is not the absence of loneliness or pain, Anna said quietly. It is continuing despite them. You maintain the systems that keep 300 lives safe. You do this every day, even when your heart aches for home. That is the human strength I came to understand. Daniel felt his throat tighten. Thank you, Anna. Not just for dinner, but for seeing me. She smiled, a Drakari expression that showed the tips of sharp teeth but radiated genuine warmth. Among my people, we have a saying, no fire burns alone in the darkness. Tonight, your fire and mine burned together. They talked for hours about home, about dreams, about the strange beauty of Glacius 7's aurora borealis that painted the ice in ribbons of color. Anna told stories of her childhood in the volcanic caves of Dracaprime. Daniel shared memories of snow and Christmas carols. As Daniel finally prepared to leave, Anna pressed something into his hands, a small crystal that glowed with inner warmth. A firestone from my homeworld, she explained. It will keep warm as long as you hold it. When you feel alone, remember, somewhere on this station, a dragon keeps a fire burning for you. Daniel looked at the glowing crystal, then at Anna. Same for you. My door is always open. Walking back to his quarters, Daniel realized the crushing loneliness had lifted. The station was still cold. Earth was still impossibly far away. But he wasn't alone. Not anymore. In the vastness of space, a human and a dragon had found warmth in unexpected friendship, and that, Daniel thought, was its own kind of Christmas miracle.